So here we are again, a video about labwc, wayland-compositor, which is similar to OpenBox on X11. And I made a few videos, one with XFCE session, Wayland session, and one with inserting XFCE panels in the labwc session directly with smaller setup, and one video with about the W lockout, which is this one. And now here I want to show an example using labwc with waybar. On the top you see waybar. This is configured waybar. Normally there's not more stuff, but I delete most of the stuff out of the bar. I only want a simple clock and a workspace switcher, and on the left side the application button, which is opening wofy menu, which is similar to rofy in X11. And so if I click, it's open. I click again, it's closed. I show you how it is working later. So here also I enabled single click to open in wofy, and here's the terminal. This is Debian forky with kernel 7.0, and so you see also when I open a program here in the taskbar, we have also this taskbar module, which is showing all the open windows. You see Firefox is here, you see Sooner File Manager. Now we have 3 programs opened, and with middle click we can close this very easily. That's it. And now I show you the configuration from waybar and the other stuff. So we go into cd.config and cd waybar, and then we have style CSS. May be interesting is just to show you, you can change the font size and so on. And then we have here is, for example, border bottom 3 pixel. This is a small border on the bottom on the waybar, which is a bit gray colored. You can disable it if you want and set this from 3 to 0, just to show you. And there are much more options here in the style CSS, but I don't care that much about this. So let's go into the config. This is the waybar config. Here you can change the height and just more. I want to show you quick. Here you see I have commented out many modules. I don't want them, and I just use clock and so on. And which modules I have inserted, you see here. I created custom labwc apps by myself. It's just this one, just a button with the text and opening wofy. And then I inserted WLR taskbar, which is an original module, and you find this in the manual page for waybar as well. And this is just the taskbar here for the opened windows. There are some specific options you can modify. I show it later. And then this I just ignored this way stuff, staying here. And most important is here for labwc, you need to insert the external workspaces module, and this is only available since waybar 0.14 version, I think. and in these days it's only available in Debian testing forky in 2026. So let's go into the details. Here are the modules, and then here's the module configuration. Here you have the Sway workspaces, which you use in Sway, wayland-compositor. I think I will also do a video about this in the future. I made a bigger video, install Debian with Sway. You find this on my channel. Here now we have the WLR taskbar module. This one, and you know, I modified it. Per default it's only activate the window when you click on it, and I changed this also to minimize it. This is this option on click, minimize -raise, and normally there would be per default just the activate, I think, but you don't find it in the configuration per default. You have to search for it, search for WLR taskbar and waybar, and then you find manual page for the specific module, and then you have an example which you can copy here into the configuration and then modify, for example, this one. Also, I modified the icon size and I inserted here the title. This would be possible as well, but I commented this out and only use the icon, so you can also get in the name here like in the old way it was normal, and like you know it also about also in XFCE. So on middle click we have close, but the minimize raise is the most important to change here. So, and then we have the external workspaces. I also copied, searched it in the web and then copied it into the config. It wasn't there per default. So the difference is Sway workspaces module and external workspaces module. Sway is per default in the configuration, and this I just copied it. Sway workspaces is more configurable, and also Sway workspaces can enable scrolling on the bar itself, which is not possible with external workspaces module, but external workspaces just gives you the workspace buttons where you can click on it, and it's working with labwc workspaces. So this is this, and let's just page down, tray temperature, and this and then you see here the custom labwc apps, my own configuration. I just used some examples from the configuration like custom media, and then I just used the format here, just inserted apps, which is the text, and then on click what should be executed when I click on it, and then I just inserted a bash-c command with a single quote. In single quotes I put in a whole command, and this is just pgrep wofi, which is searching for a process wofi, and when a wofi process is running, then kill the wofi process. Elsewhere or otherwise you start wofi with this specific options arguments here. This is just this. I also show later my configuration for wofi. So you see here I gave a specific height and weight and columns, and also L is location, and 1 is the top left of the screen, and 2 would be top in the middle, and 3 would be top in the right side, and 5 would be centered. So just to show it, this is this about the waybar configuration. And now we go back, and then let's look about the wofy configuration. Config. And here I just inserted single click true, allow images true, and normally you don't have the icons, the images here, so you have specifically inserted in the wofy configuration to get the images, and the image size you can here set as well, so I like it a bit bigger here. And then the position per default would be centered 5, and this would be normal height and width, and columns 3 per default. Here I have the labwc menu configured by myself, and I inserted here also wofy with the label all apps, and this is normal wofy centered and with 3 columns. And on the waybar I just gave some other options to have it on the top left. So that's about wofy. And here the GTK dark is not working, but normally it should be working, so I don't know what was the case here. But we have also we can here set the looks with nwg-look. This is for another Wayland shell, but is also configuring. Here are the preferences files listed, and there the settings are saved. So when you change something, it's getting saved in this configuration files. I also could switch to Advaita dark, how you see now, and now. Okay, again, appearance. Advaita dark, this is just a preview I have to apply. So now you will see that also the wofy menu is now in dark. So this is working. So I also can start GTK settings and nwg-look here. And we also could set yellow blue dark, yellow blue, Advaita dark. I like it this way, and then I can also set the icons. Here we have Sooner File Manager, and then if we change the icons, you see it also get changed. Mouse cursors also available. Font other, and that's it. This is nwg-look. You can install it on Debian as well. And so this was the wofy configuration and nwg-look. So in this case, light and dark style for wofy is switching when you use changes with nwg-looks. And now let's check waybar wofy. Let's check labwc, and now you see here are the files in the labwc directory. Where you get the files is you just copy user share documentation labwc, and then you see there all the example files, and these files you copy in your home.config labwc, and then you configure it. In more details you see in my other labwc videos, so just to mention it here. And now let's config. Here we are. Now let's go in lab. NA is alias for nano, just by the way. I show you .bash aliases. These are my aliases. I also have an alias for system overview, and this is with fast switch as well. So just to show you in a quick moment, you can create it by your own, just an inspiration. And then also I have many aliases for apt and aptitude and nano, so NA is quicker than typing nano all the time. I prefer in these days nano over VI for simple stuff, but I also use VI and Vim. And now I want to show you labwc environment, this file. And here you can set some stuff. You can change your keyboard layout, for example, here. And you can also set with the environment config the cursor theme and the size. And this is what I have done. So this is why the cursor is managed directly from labwc. And nwg-look, you can also change the cursor, but in this case I manage this directly from labwc. So just to show you, here you can set your cursor, and then we have the auto start file. It's just sway background with the -i option, setting directly the wallpaper in this file from Debian. Ceratopsian is the current Trixie wallpaper for Debian. And then the kanji is setting the screen resolution. I show this more deeper and detailed in my other videos about labwc. Starting waybar, starting macro for notifications, and then spare idle for automatically lock the screen when idle. And then you can also add some programs when you want to start some other programs automatically at the start from labwc. So this is the auto start. Then let's go into the menu file just to show you. You have the client menu for the window. I don't change here anything. Then you have the root menu, which is normally on the left click on the desktop. A small basic menu, and on the right click you get the some custom menu, which I edited. So, and here you see terminal, and here you insert also the icon option, where you can set the icon. Per default there is no icon set, so you search the icons and create this menu by yourself. There's also available, when you go on the website from labwc, labwc menu configurator and so on. It's all in development, so more things will come up, but just to show you the manual way how to do it. Then I inserted sooner as well with an icon here, and then all apps. Here I searched a specific icon for the app grid icon, and then I just set WoFi menu to show drun. And then if the top command with food and the aptitude, food sudo aptitude, here this, you can change the colorful output in top is capital Z, and with T and M you can change the look for CPU and memory between just numbers or this bar. So then I created a submenu for labwc. So aptitude, just to show you, this is aptitude, normally with menu as well. So I modified it. And then I created a labwc submenu for lock the screen, which is sway lock, just the lock. and then appearance is nwg-look, and then reconfigure is reconfiguring and restarting labwc with the changed configuration, and then I inserted some entries for directly editing the files from labwc. And also here I added food for the food terminal, the Wayland only terminal, and I just changed the term for the colors here and the font size and the initial window size to get a bigger window than the default. And then I also changed the alpha entry to get the transparency in the window. Just about the food configuration. And here I have a submenu for quitting. Here is wlookout, and then directly exit labwc and reboot and power off also directly. So this is this. You see here I just inserted a menu entry, setting a label and setting an icon. This is this. You can search in your I just do a search user share icons, and then I do find user share icons, and then dash I name asterisk, and then I search for labwc, for example, and then I get some path where I see this is the icon I want, and then with Ctrl Shift C, marking it with the mouse, Ctrl Shift C, copy it and insert it in here in the file with Ctrl Shift V. So here's waylock, just with color to get this black, and then appearance with the pixmap. Also this, some icons are under user share pixmaps, not all are under user share icons. And then you see this. If you want to search some stuff, for example, I just open the packages.debian.org and type in here debian.org/ and then I type labwc directly, and then it's opening this site, and then I jump to the background to the end, and then I click on the list of files. If you don't know where is icon, you find icons for specific programs, and you just look into the list, and then you see user share icons, high color scale, able apps, labwc symbolic. Okay, and this way you find out where you get an icon for a specific application also, or in this case labwc. So this is the labwc icon here with yellow and red. So that's it, and then here the entries for opening food with nano and the configuration file. And then you see here this menu labwc quit. I named it just this way, and then the label and the icon as well, and then execute wlookout or systemctl reboot and power off. This is just the menu. And then let's look or have a look on rc.xml, and then we are nearly to finish. And now you see here, normally you have just this entry for fonts, and I don't change the size 10 per default. I just copy this and then insert place menu header and place menu item to get the font size 12 for the menu. You also can change this, for example, to 16. and then you have a bigger menu. So but I have to reconfigure, and now you see it's much bigger. Okay, this is this one, and then I just inserted here some more key bindings for opening a terminal, food terminal, because this is a virtual machine, so I switch between the window key and alt key sometimes, and so window return is the default key bind, and I like with the shift key as well, window shift and return, or shift alt return, and then a specific one with ctrl shift alt T for opening food with the top monitor, system monitor. And then I inserted labwc. This is a comment here. You can insert here a simple comment, and then here this is alt D and alt shift D, opening the name is show menu. This is different to execute, and instead of command is here menu given, and here's the name of the menu. Some custom menu is my configured menu, so I can get the menu all the time, even I have no, for example, the Windows full screen and I can't click on the desktop. I can switch to another empty desktop, or I have here now set the key bindings alt D and alt shift D to opening also the labwc menu. This is this one, and then shift window and error for reconfigure labwc, and yes, and then I have also modified the window key bindings for closing and minimizing. You see here just shift window and Q and shift alt Q, and then the old one window F4, and you also can change this to alt F4, and then I have the alt F9 for iconify, which is minimizing the window, and then the modern one like in GNOME, Windows key and the H key. So, and then we have here the desktop key bindings, and this is just ctrl alt left right for switching between the windows, and then also adding the shift key to move a window to another workspace, which is named send to desktop here. Go to desktop is switching the desktop, and send to desktop is move a window to another desktop. You find the specific pattern in the manual page from labwc man, and oh no, labwc, you see here the available man pages for labwc, the normal one, then the labwc actions, config and menu and theme. So in this case it's the labwc actions, where you find the specific options how to use this in the configuration file. And then you can also enable wrapping or toggle, and then this is the direction left or right, and so that's very clear, I think. And then we have show a custom menu on desktop, right click. Here I inserted this part. Per default the right click opens some custom menu. This one is the default, and I copied this entry and changed to left, so I also get the same menu with a left click on the desktop, which is not the default, which per default the left click would open the minimalistic root menu from the menu.xml file. And at least here you see we just oh, I forgot, but it's not that important. this should be this one. The desktops, the workspaces you name here. So, and if I delete 2, for example, and write, you see on the top right, it will be changing when I reconfigure. Now we have only one workspace, you see. So I reverse this or undo this and then reconfigure, and now we have again 2 workspaces. So here you set the name and also how many workspaces you want to have. Okay, that's it. Okay, you see there is also, this is the normal rc.xml. Per default it's much smaller than I showed. I inserted many stuff, and there's a rc.xml all.gz, which you find here under this path. And when you unpack this, there are much more options in this file. So just open Nano or VI with both files and then just copy all what you want from this in your own rc.xml and then modify it for your needs. So that's basically it. So the auto start, the environment, the menu.xml, the rc.xml, and yeah, this is the most important one. And then you have basically the whole setup, how to do it. And yeah, also you can sudo nano etc. You have here lightdm in this case as a login manager, which is getting installed when you install the XFCE desktop. I just installed Debian with the XFCE desktop and then installed labwc afterwards. So this is why I have Sooner and many other stuff installed. And then I just to show you, you can also enable, you can change this greeter hide users false, and you will see directly the usernames listed on lightdm, and then you can also set autologin for a specific user, and autologin session you can set here as well, labwc, or here is also sway outcommented. Just to show you, this is how you can do change the configuration for lightdm login manager. And then which packages to install, just to mention, sudo apt install labwc. At first I would start with XFCE4 for desktop, and afterwards you just install labwc, because when you install XFCE4 you get also the Sooner file manager, and then you also get the lightdm login manager with XFCE as well. And then you install labwc, you install sway background, sway idle, sway image is an image viewer for sway, similar to FEH in X11, a small image viewer. And then you need kanji, then you need waybar and wofi, and w menu is also possible. You know, this is w menu, but not opening directly here. Maybe we, yeah, now you see we get a bar on the top where you can type for a program to start. This is a simple like D menu on X11. So and then the food terminal is important. Yeah, and then just look in the auto start file. Here you have sway background, kanji, waybar, Marco yeah, macro is also to be installed, n2 idle. This you have to install, and then where you find the templates for specific programs, I just show you. You create directories in the .config file in your home folder for waybar, for wofy, for labwc, and for food, and then you copy there in your home folder, config folder, all the templates, and you find the templates. For example, you find in etc wofy, wlookout. Okay, yeah, that's it. wlookout, here the layout file is where you can change, for example, the log program, and then most of the other stuff is working well. So etc wlookout you find directly under etc, and then under xtg you find food and waybar, and you find wofy, maybe, no, wofy also not available here. And then I showed you that you find the templates from labwc under user share doc labwc, and so that's basically it. Okay. So this is Debian forky with labwc, and look for the other videos on my channel, and then you see more details into the depth, how to configure labwc, and much more. Have fun, stay tuned.